Hi, Tara. Thanks for having me here. This is Scott Panozzo, and I am the principal at Reeths-Puffer Intermediate over here in Muskegon, Michigan.
Muskegon, Michigan. So, Scott, can you tell us how have you been a part of the Michigan Learning Channel so far?
Well, I was fortunate enough to get connected with the Michigan Learning Channel through our MEMSPA association. And over the last month or so, have had a tremendous time getting to know everyone and being a part of the learning that's going on, and really excited for the launch of the Michigan Learning Channel in January.
And what does MEMSPA stand for, Scott?
MEMSPA is the Michigan Elementary and Middle School Principals Association.
Okay, yeah, we know in education there's lots of letters and abbreviations for stuff.
Exactly.
So you're a principal of what grades is your school?
We have fifth and sixth grade in the building, about
Okay, and
550 kids.
550 kids.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is in Muskegon.
Yeah, right on the dead end of 96 on Lake Michigan.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So what do your students as they do virtual learning and they do hybrid and they do face-to-face, do you have trouble with students having Wi-Fi or connection in the areas you work in?
Yeah, we have a pretty interesting dynamic in our area, because we've got a lot of community that lives near Lake Michigan, and Comcast doesn't have cable out there, so internet can be a challenge. We've had to gladly purchase Wi-Fi hotspots that are run off of cell data, obviously, and be able to provide that for some of our kids. But there have been moments and times in a few places where we have had a lot of challenges with getting our kids connected, and so we've had to make kind of that physical packet, if you will, instead of being able to connect virtually. One of the other things that we've found that's been a really powerful tool is we used to not have cell phones in classrooms. But now that a lot of times we're finding is the only way people are connected to the internet. And that has been an absolutely powerful tool, both in the classroom and when our kids are remote.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So do you think that the Michigan Learning Channel having the capability of coming through broadcast on an antenna will be something that would be helpful in your communities?
Yeah, I can think of where I grew up, which was on the north end of our district. My parents have to use the phone line for their internet, and it's really, really slow. But a lot of people in that area still use over the air for their TV, or through satellite. And it's really cool because when our kids are virtual, as administrators, we're still in the building. So I'm blessed and fortunate enough to have my mom be able to help out with our kids. And I have a third grader and a kindergartner. And to be able to trust PBS and say, hey, there's always great content on there. My kids love watching, whether it be Nature Cat or Pinkalicious or Curious George, and all those great shows that you can trust your kids with. Especially when my third grader is on a Zoom meeting and my kindergartner has an hour off, it's hard to balance all those things. And so now to know that there's content to supplement, that just gets me so excited.
So you could see your kids getting on the Michigan Learning Channel when they're not on with their teachers.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I think it's going to be a great thing for not only our community, but obviously the state.
So it could be something parents could use at home, knowing that their child is watching something trusted and learning while they're trying to get their own job done as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's an interesting thing because we find so many people are working from home and trying to balance their own kids' schedules with their own Zoom meetings. My sister works out west at a university, and she's on about 8 hours of Zooms a day. And so how do you balance what your kids need versus your own professional life, And so obviously they're still fortunate enough and blessed enough to not have to be looking for a job right now. But then the other side of that is, how do we balance and help out with our own kids? And so I think about these supplements and the trusted name of PBS to be able to help with our kids. And I hate to, I don't want it to sound like I'm saying it's babysitting, right? But we've all been there as parents. We're like, I've got to get this done. why don't you guys watch a show? And you try to get excited about it. And then you're fumbling through trying to find what's the right thing, and there's never that question with PBS. You can just turn it on and it's ready to go. And it's something that we can rely on. And that's very comforting as a parent.
Awesome, awesome. So now you have fifth and sixth grade teachers that are part of your school family. Will this be something that you could see them utilizing once we get the content up to that grade level?
Absolutely. I think of, we're transitioning to how do we service our own virtual kids with our own teachers. And, asynchronous learning has become an incredibly popular term. And, if a kid can't make our meeting in the morning, but is able to jump on at 4 o'clock to watch a video on illustrative math for grade 6 to get the same lesson. I mean, what a great supplemental material. Obviously we don't want any of this to, the vision is not to replace teaching, but to supplement.
Right,
Because there's
right.
nothing like that face-to-face contact and that relationship that you build. But the reality is we're in a pandemic and people are doing anything that they can right now to survive. And so to have those supplemental materials is it's awesome. It's just a great thing for us.
Well, and I remember when I was a teacher in the kindergarten classroom, kids didn't always grasp the lesson the first time I taught it. So I could see this being something that after the teacher teaches the lesson, here you can go watch again so that it's reinforcing what the teacher has already done. Yeah, we absolutely don't have any intention of replacing teachers. We could not possibly do that. That job is an amazing job, and the connection and the relationships are absolutely powerful there as well.
As you're
Um,
saying that, I'm thinking like, there a lot of times a teacher can teach a lesson and it might not connect with that kid at that moment. And so sometimes hearing a different voice or hearing it done just a little bit differently is a way that we might be able to connect with kids. Our illustrative math program, which I know is going to be featured, also has supplemental materials with different videos as well. And so that could be 3 different forms of delivery to help our kids succeed in a time where, we need every resource we can to help our kids be successful.
Absolutely. What do you think about kids that are grasping concepts quickly and want to move ahead? Do you think that this might be able to supplement that as well?
That's always the challenge, I think, with us in public school. We try to service all of our kids the best we can. And sometimes, and I've found this with some of my own family members, how do we continue to push them forward while keeping the content appropriate?
Mhm.
My own son is a ferocious reader. And how do I keep books in his hand that keep his interest,
Yeah,
but still challenge him, right?
yeah,
The mathematics piece for sure. Obviously we can always say, well, you can work ahead in your book. But I think about if there are different ways to reinforce it, different ways to think about it, anything we can put in the kids' hands, especially those that are hungry right now, would be just an absolute advantage for those kids as well.
awesome, awesome. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would like the world to know about the Michigan Learning Channel or about any of the work that you do?
The only thing I might add is that I'm super excited that we have this resource on a platform that is so trusted so that parents can be at ease, because I think the anxieties of how do I help my kid do virtual school while I'm maintaining my own life, whether that's a work life or it's the, how am I going to get food on my table tonight? I need to coordinate rides with this person, etc. To be able to have a trusted resource that I can say, hey, this isn't the best right now, but we know it's going to give you something that you can benefit from. It is such an amazing resource for all of us to have. And I'm so thankful for the work and the vision that's behind this. So thank you.